Today, I'm going to talk about the social practice of white lies, which could very well be extremely super personal to me because I don't do them. And a lot of people do, but I just don't. And it could be one of the reasons why I'm sort of socially inept, which is, I don't want to say it's very common for somebody who has avoidant personality disorder to be socially inept, but I think it's a really common self-impression, and I think it's also something that was told to them by people, and that they probably believed it, which is super common with avoidant personality disorder, that stuff was told to them. Effectively, they're bullied, and they believed it, and that's one of the reasons why they have the personality disorder. So, the argument for telling white lies is that it protects the other person, and it's not it's not as offensive, than telling the truth. I think that like socializing with acquaintances and small talk is really hard for people with avoidant personality disorder, and a lot of that is basically white lies. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? Says the person who's in the process of going through a divorce and losing their house. Oh, I'm fine. So if you can sort of master it, I mean, it's basically totally commonplace for people to tell white lies socially. I'm not repeating myself yet. When somebody asks me a question that I don't want to answer truthfully, I don't tell a white lie. I just stay silent. Which is not being social. My hair is bugging me. But anyway, it always bugs me. So this is a problem. I've actually been told multiple times that, oh, just lie about it. Just tell them this. Just tell them that. What? Apparently I shock people because I tell the truth. I'm also, I don't like to not disclose information. I actually got called out today on something that I was like, what? I mean, and this is the secondary problem, is that when you have the standard, other people will hold you to a standard that you have yourself defined. If you are holding yourself to a higher standard than the general population, the people around you will expect that you're going to do the same thing. I was accused today of being untruthful because I forgot to tell somebody something I thought I'd already told them. And I'm like, huh? What? I'm like, wait a second. Because again, and my gut response to that was to do a comparison. Well, what about this person and what about that person? And why aren't you holding them to the same standards? Well, no, I'm the one who needs to be truthful. That is a second problem of not being able to tell white lies, is that people are just beyond shocked and horrified, and they can't tolerate it if you're not telling the whole truth um, all the time. So I'm not saying go out there and lie, even though people told it to me. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying to not tell white lies either. Now, I mean, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference between a white lie, which is, oh yeah, you look fine today, when they look like a mess. Or, compare that to a blatant, straight out, to your face lie. And, what I got called up on was, I guess, a lie of omission, which I believe in. And I don't know that everybody believes in the lies of omission, but which is basically means you don't tell somebody something that could alter their perception of what's happening. I don't like it when people do it to me. I mean, that's not saying you have to tell everybody everything. It's not full disclosure. It's just, if there's something major, you really ought to let people know. Which is among the reasons why I tell somebody, if I'm going to be interacting with somebody on a regular basis, I will tell them about my personal life disorder. Which sort of sounds nuts. But then again, the people I interact with on a regular basis are all, health or mental health care workers, so they sort of have a clue. Those are the people that are in my life. And so, yeah, I would make a distinction between those two. Would not beat yourself up if you do white lies, because actually it's, and I know a lot of people do, they're like, oh, this is my standard, I'm supposed to tell the truth about everything all the time. That's great. But you could actually damage your relationship with other people if you're always telling 100% the truth and you're not trying to take into account their feelings. So, I don't know really why I'm talking about this. Well, truthfully, okay, here we go. Let me avoid the white lie. Truthfully, it's because I was like, it's supposed to be holidays. Holiday theme. How can I talk about these things and be in a white for snow, white, what can I talk about that's white lies? I'll talk about white lies. Swear to God, that's why I picked this topic. But it is one of the things that you should sort of master, that very fine and unsubstantial and gray and hard to navigate line. It's easier to say 100% always, this is how I'm going to react. But to interact with people, that's not always the best way to win friends and keep friends, etc. And, colleagues and grocery clerks and everything else. So don't feel too guilty for doing it. Don't overuse it as a technique, and practice it, because if you want to get people in your life, it's one of the skills that you need to actually master.